Kublai pi baro kini kilongki kubor bam takasngi. Hagamat iatai ya ka breach of privilege motion balawan rado MLA ka VPP ba Adelbert Nomgrum pyrshah yu Lamphang ka yung darbar thawan namar ka jimbam sha ban iatai ya ka kaipot CAG ne ka sngi pale hinre ka yung baro ka we kalat kentat ban priang manyakran. Kadai ka hok jongki MLA banwan ra ikani ka motion shwa kini ki yathu uba Adelbert bala penkhen do Lamphang da ka bashimrai banum sha ekran ya ka motion hapo ka yung darbar halor ka kaipon CAG uba Adelbert ula IT ka jing ujor bridge of privilege ne ka sniper sha ka rai jong Lamphang banum pediang ya ka special motion jong u banyakran halor ka kaipon jong ka comptroller Auditor General of India CAG on social and economic sector jung usnem bakut ha ka life waitering leber arajar arpuar da kaba yak hok jong u la kentan ki bam pediang no kila job ya ka ne ka privilege la kentan da ka yung darbar ong u Lamphang Thomas e sangma hadin balabu ya ka motion ha ka jing yavun haba kedaw ki rules u Lamphang ula benrap la dami kanu ka jing artatien ni ka jing batai ya kanu ka kendon jeng ka rule karai jung u Lamphang ka dei ka bakadu
Honorable members, I would like to inform the House that I have received a complaint of breach of privilege today, the 22nd February 2024, provided under the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business from Sri Adelbert Nomgrum, MLA, for not admitting his special motion to discuss on the report of CAG on social and economic sectors for the year ended 31st March 2022. And his right has been denied as a member. In this regard, the Assembly Secretariat had informed him, as per the letter received from the Chief Minister, that after the CAG report is placed in the House, the Public Accounts Committee PAC examines the same under the Rule 241, Clause 1, 2, 3, 4. As the report is still under examination by the PAC, I request you not to list any motion to discuss the same. I also feel that this is the correct interpretation of the rules. It may perhaps be discussed after a report has been submitted by the PAC in the House. You may make a brief statement, please.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, sir, for allowing me to take up this matter. And before I proceed ahead with the intention of bringing this breach of privilege, it doesn't mean that I mean to embarrass anyone. I love to embarrass myself, but to do something good for the survival of the future generation. So, thank you so much for giving me this privilege. Honorable Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to state that Rule 161 allow me to make a statement relevant to my complaint of breach of privilege as contained in the notice I have submitted to you under Rule 159. Thank you so much for consideration. Sir, I was very disappointed when I received a letter from the Assembly Secretariat dated 19/2/2024 that a special motion which I had submitted under Rule 130A of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business to discuss in the House a recent report of the CAG during the ongoing budget session 2024 had been disallowed by the Honorable Speaker on the ground that the subject matter was still under the examination of the Public Accounts Committee. The letter I received came along with an enclosure which was a communication from the Chief Minister date 19/02/2024 requesting the Speaker not to list any motion to discuss the CAG report as referred in the special motion. Since the report is still being examined by the PAC, The communication from the Chief Minister explained that after a CAG report is placed in the House, the PSC examined the same on the Rule 241 Clause 1, 2, 3, 4. Mr. Speaker, sir, being a lawmaker, I had carefully relooked at the rule stated by the Chief Minister, and I found that it did relate to the function of the Assembly Committee on Public Accounts, otherwise known as the PSC, but nowhere in Rules 241 clauses 1, 2, 3, 4 does it say that a CAG report that is under examination of the PSC cannot be brought for discussion in the House. And so I was left wondering, under what rule am I being disallowed by Speaker, when the ground for disallowing that was stated in the letter and enclosure issued to me was not found to be valid and maintainable under the rules of procedure and conduct of business. For 2 consecutive days, I have got an audience with the Honorable Speaker at his office chamber to seek clarification on the word provision of law. Was I being disallowed to move the special motion, and was told that it is not in the rules but it is an established convention that report of CAG is not discussed on the floor of the House. Again, being a lawmaker, I cannot accept this clarification given by the Speaker, as I know for sure that convention may be a guideline when the rule is silent, but convention can never supersede a statutory rules. Rules 130A of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business is very clear that any member can move a special motion for discussion whenever any report is brought before the House. To place on record, the CAG report that I am continually referring to is the report of the Comptroller and Auditor General on Social and Economic Sector for the year ended 31st March 2022, Government of Meghalaya, report number 2 of 2023. It was tabled in the House on the last day of autumn session 2023 on dated 22/9/23, and is therefore fit to be brought for discussion in the House in accordance with the Rule 130A. In my interaction with the Honorable Speaker, it was also explained to me that report of CAG are technical in character, and therefore, even though the report are laid before the Assembly, it is examined only by the Public Accounts Committee and not by the whole Assembly. Now, it does not require me to be a lawmaker to question this flawed explanation, because everyone knows that members of the PSC are drawn from the Assembly itself. Not being satisfied with the clarification I have received from the Honorable Speaker, I have reiterated by my parliamentary right under Rules 130A to, and thereafter have requested the Honorable Speaker to kindly revoke his decision to disallow the special motion. However, even till this morning, the Speaker has not revoked this decision to disallow the special motion, and so I am left with no option but to prefer this motion for breach of privilege under Rule 158, asking the question whether it is true or not that my parliamentary privilege under Rule 130A has been breached by the Speaker. Decision to disallow the special motion moved by me to discuss in the House the report of CAG for the year ended 31st March 2023, Government of Meghalaya, report number 2 of 23. Almost come to conclusion, sir. Further, I seek the kind intervention of the House under Rule 160 Clause 3, as the Honorable Speaker may be legally constrained to give a decision in the motion for breach of privilege, since the cardinal principle of natural justice required that one cannot be a judge in his own case. If the Honorable Speaker were to decide on this motion, it would attract the rule against bias. Lastly, I wish to make a submission that this august House is faced today with not just a motion for breach of privilege, but there is a larger picture to it as well. A decision on the breach of privilege will have to keep in mind a constitutional bedrock in fundamental right. Article 19A of the Constitution give us all the right to freedom of speech and expression. How come we are at liberty to discuss the contents of any CAG report tabled in the House, either at the public forum or even before press and media, yet in the Assembly itself, where we are members, we can be disallowed by the Speaker if we raise the same subject matter for discussion in the House? Can a fundamental right be curtailed this way? Honorable members of this August House, honestly, I'm not going to be embarrassed if lose his motion for breach of privilege. But I tell you, with a heavy heart, that I will be ashamed if I just let a president be late in this assembly, that a report of the CAG cannot be discussed in the House till the Public Account Committee has first examined it. Mr. Speaker, sir, I do not forget where I am in the House and who elected me to be here. It is my duty bound pursuit to be a voice of the people who believe there are values worth fighting for, even if I have to be standing alone. With these few words, I thank this August House, through you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for hearing my submission in the motion of breach of